I think from now on, it's just like whatever my hair is, whatever is going on in particular that day, I'm just going with. If I'm making a video, I'm just not going to worry about it anymore because the content and the visuals and everything else are more important than what I look like. So if you agree, leave a comment, let me know. But you might not even care because I don't care. I just want to give you information. I just want to talk, and I don't really want to pay attention to how my hair is, or, I put this on. It's cold today, so I'm trying to stay warm. How y'all doing? Nick Brengle here, and I'm here. I haven't been here in a few weeks. Had some projects going on, and then I was on vacation, and that actually pertains to this exact video. So the GoPro Hero12. Not a surprise that this came out, I guess, I don't know, a month ago now, a few weeks ago, whatever it was. And many of us on YouTube in the filmmaking world pay attention to any kind of camera release. And I, in preparation for this vacation that we were taking in Washington State, I wanted to get an action cam of some kind. And I have not had a GoPro since the Hero 4. And I'll show you some footage now from the Hero 4, which I think is still pretty incredible. So for me, I kind of didn't really pay attention to all of the negative hype around GoPro's release. I understand it's just like Apple, it's just like whatever products. Every year we have to come out with a new one because it's better and the camera's better and the sensor, whatever, okay? So I'm not on the hype train, that's for sure. I just wanted to get an action cam. And so for me, the Hero 12 was a huge upgrade from the Hero 4 that I had many years ago. But before I bought the GoPro, I actually picked up the Insta360 Go 3 or whatever it is, the tiny little pill camera. And as far as the form factor and the ease of use, incredible. Unfortunately, the video quality itself just didn't hold up to my standards, even knowing, that with GoPros and different action cams that low light is not great all around. That I can understand and deal with, but the overall image just was not great out of the 360. You needed to put too much time and effort in post-production to even make it usable, in my opinion, for the kind of quality that I wanted to go for. But other than that, if you're just somebody who wants to capture, hiking and bicycling and running or doing whatever, or even just to have a tiny little camera on when you're going anywhere, then I definitely recommend the Insta360. But the GoPro just gave me way better quality and still the ease of use. So I'm going to quickly talk a little bit about how I used it, why I used it, and just some of the pros and cons, I guess. So it's been a while since I've had just a point and shoot type of camera, and with the GoPro, many of you know that's literally what it is. I mean, you turn this thing on, hit record, and just point it wherever you are. Right now we're actually recording also to the Hero 12. It is literally sitting on my matte box, pointed right at me. So we'll switch back and forth. You'll see we'll talk about the setup at the end of the video. But yeah, we're recording to that now just to give you an idea from Blackmagic Pocket 6K to the GoPro Hero 12. And we're recording. All the footage you're seeing was either 90% of it was recorded in the whatever it was called, like the full frame 5K square aspect ratio, and that's why I kind of wanted to keep this video in that 4:3 aspect ratio, because it just made it a little bit easier. And also, who doesn't like that anyway? So we're recording in that. I have it in Pro Tune, and so it's shooting in that log format, and you're supposedly getting higher dynamic range, and I just didn't want to have to think about it at all. And though that was really the pros, was the fact that I never had one issue with this camera on our entire vacation. Just turning it on, hitting record. I had 3 batteries that I could work off of, and they lasted a few hours each with continuous use and leaving the camera on or letting it go into standby mode. And then I also had this guy, the 3-in-1 or whatever this thing is, like a selfie stick, and then it has like a tripod that comes out. And this is pretty much what I used besides the car mount for any of the, car shots. I basically just had it on this and was holding it around, or using the tripod to get some static shots. Nothing fancy at all, super simple. Something else that makes it really easy is that the GoPro is recording in an Mp4 file, which is much smaller than trying to record everything in ProRes or RAW. And I was able to use my iPad and an external SSD throughout our trip and just download or offload all of the footage and then just use the same memory card. I'm using a 256 gig memory card, and I maybe filled up half of it each day, maybe. So it made it a lot easier and faster to transfer that footage and shooting in that mode. But I will say, coming back to the computer and working with MP4 footage is not the most exciting color grading adventure, because what I like to do is render out footage in ProRes and then work with it on the back end that way. But GoPro doesn't really make that simple. It takes quite a while, as you know, when you're working with those small compressed files that have so much information in them. So I ended up just doing everything in Final Cut, using dehancer as my main source of color. So everything you're seeing, all the footage, me here, and all the GoPro footage was edited using GoPro's LUT, whatever the new HERO12 LUT is that they have, and then dehancer for everything else, from the tonal contrast, the density, halation, if there's any film grain, anything like that, it's all dehancer. It was kind of neat because we got to go through so many different types of scenarios just on this one trip, being in Seattle and then traveling out to the Pacific Northwest, being in the mountains, in the rainforest, and really kind of showing you how the GoPro reacts in different situations. As always, it does very, very well in bright, sunny, well-lit scenarios, and it's almost too good, honestly, in those situations. But as the light dims a little bit, you go into darker spaces in the woods, in the forest, and you can see some more of that grain that's not as appealing. And I tried my best to work with that and make it look a little bit better. But I think that's something you just kind of have to accept with GoPro, is that they're not marketing these cameras to use at nighttime or in dark scenarios. So it is kind of what it is, and you just have to live with it. And if you can, push and pull it as much as you can using dehancer or any other type of color grading software, then you kind of have a little bit of latitude, but you're still not shooting in a raw format, so you're kind of stuck with what you got, and it's all auto. I mean, you don't have to do it, you just hit record. Lastly, what I will say is that I think the GoPro is an incredible camera if you need to upgrade. If you're using a much older GoPro, if you're in the market for any kind of action camera, maybe it's your first one, I would go with the GoPro, or maybe the DJI. I'm not sure, that's up to you, but a lot of them are, just doing incredible things now and making it super easy to use. Like, I even forgot to mention that I didn't know that you're able to use a 3/4 thread now on the GoPro. It has a little, the proprietary GoPro mount like hides away, and you can screw it on to any kind of 3/4 thread. And that's something that they didn't do way back on the HERO4 or the previous models. I go all the way back to the very first GoPro, and they've come a long way. The fact that you can just put that thing underwater and you don't need to put it in a housing anymore. The microphone is greatly improved, although if you're in really windy situations, what do you expect? It's going to pick up the wind and not the best way, and not what you're going to want. But again, it's an action camera. It's not a cinema camera. It's not intended to be used to make proper films or anything like that. So we're really trying to push it and pull it and use that crispy GoPro footage the best way we can. And one more thing that I'll say is that you go on YouTube and you search GoPro Hero12 filmmaking or cinematography, and you just add GoPro. All we're getting is just these unboxing and reviews by really great people, but it's not really filmmaking, it's not really cinematography. And so I hope that this video ends up somewhere in your recommended and it looks like something that you want to watch, and it's not just another like GoPro pros and cons review, because I'm really just trying to highlight how simple it is to go and shoot with this camera and upload really great content and not really have to have much of background in using cameras. The only thing you need to know how is framing and how to cut out the garbage, really. So so the GoPro Hero 12, I like it. I'm going to use it for other stuff. I don't know what yet, but I will. You guys want to talk about this setup? Okay, so really simple setup. We got the Godox UL150 Mark II, and we're actually at 100% today, believe it or not. But we do have dual diffusion. It was really sunny earlier, so I was trying to, work over that, but of course it got a little more cloudy. And then just out of frame up here we have the big Pavo tube for a hair light, and then as always the Rode NT3. Got a couple of lights behind me. Got the NOLED LED behind my monitor, which I'm going to be talking about in a very short, quick upcoming video. A lot of different lights that were coming my way, and we have to talk about those. So if you like this video, please, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Hit the like button while you're here. If you have any questions about the GoPro, as always, I kind of do these things off the cuff, and I have a few mental notes, and I just go with it, just like my hair. So until the next one, go create something, and be safe.